So I'm coming back from a wedding, and as I'm cresting over the top of the hill to get to my house, there's this big orange ball. I had no clue what it was, but then pretty soon the ash and the smell all became evident that there was a huge fire. So as I get closer, I see fires all around. I call my wife. I say, "Get the dog. I'll be there in a few minutes to pick you up." We could see that it was moving closer and closer and closer. Then we saw the first house burn, and then we saw another house burn. Overnight, hundreds of homes burned, thousands of structures burned. I said, I can't stay in this panic of things that I can't control. What I can control is I can go help somebody else. So I told my wife, I'm gonna go down to the Salvation Army and see where I can help. The emergency disaster canteen was at the Finley Center because the Finley Center had been deemed an evacuation center. So hundreds of people were converging on the Finley Center. My job then became food logistics for the Finley Evacuation Center. Is it a position I knew anything about? Absolutely not. There were a group of restaurants, the San Francisco Restaurant Network, and they were helping provide us with food. I said, if we have world-class food here, let's treat it like world-class. And so I started to work with the staff in the kitchen to make a production out of rolling out the food every day. So we would do signs where we had all the menu items on the wall every day, and when the people came out to serve, I wanted them to come out in a way that emulated fine dining, right? And then I would go in front of the line and I would say, ladies and gentlemen, we have this amazing pork dish for you with a blah, 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 or there's a cobbler with hand-spun ice cream, you know, whatever it took to make it just neat. In total, there were approximately 90,000 evacuees during this crisis. The Salvation Army put out approximately 86,000 meals. At our height, we were right around 5,000 people a day that were being fed. The most meaningful part of that was after the meal. I'd go sit down with someone and say, how you doing today? How's your house? And I felt that through that interaction and talking with these people, we all became one in it all together. One lady came up to me and she said, listen, if you continue to feed us food like this and treat us this way, we aren't gonna wanna go home. And to me, that was the biggest compliment ever. The other one was, an elderly woman came up to me and she said, John, I just really appreciate what you guys have done. And I'm not gonna forget you. I'm not gonna forget what you did. And so, fast forward, I'm sitting in the office of the Salvation Army and a letter arrives, and in it was a check for $49,000. You don't know what $49,000 does to a program like this that is funded by donations. It is absolutely the life's blood. So it was a significant contribution to the Salvation Army, and I was really happy to be a small part of that. There's a foundation of skills that have been poured into you during the course of your time at AT&T. And I found that for me, those leadership skills, those organizational skills, that project management skill set, all came together that allowed me to be valuable in a crisis situation. I know that had it not been for a group of first responders, my house wouldn't be there. My father-in-law, who was a policeman first and a fireman for 30 years after that with the Oakland Fire Department, he instilled in me that necessity to want to help, to want to be a part of the solution. And his example has been just amazing. And his brother, who was a firefighter, and his other brother, who was a firefighter, and the nephews, and the legacy continues that we have grandchildren and great-grandchildren who want to become first responders or are currently first responders. I've had the opportunity to share what we're doing with FirstNet in creating this entire network that will allow more efficient communications of first responders and to be able to place those resources where they need to be in a more efficient and effective way. And so there's a shift that is going to allow incidences like what occurred in my hometown not to be so catastrophic in the future. To have a network that is dedicated to that effort is going to save lives. Be proud of what we've created in this FirstNet and the organization that supports it.